Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on my video. This is Rocky here with my top moments from episode 11 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's right, our show is finally back. So my number 6 top moment of the episode, we get some additional information about the Mack and Bobbi conspiracy. Seems they are after Fury's little black cube called the toolbox, as it contains pretty much all S.H.I.E.L.D. information. I'm kind of starting to lean towards the idea of them working for S.W.O.R.D., which in the comics is basically like S.H.I.E.L.D., except they deal more with alien threats as opposed to worldly threats, things like that. You know, at any rate, I don't think they're necessarily villains at all or working for Hydra, but I definitely foresee some great conflict within the team. So again, you know, possibly working for S.W.O.R.D., possibly working for the CIA or another government agency, but right now I'm leaning towards the S.W.O.R.D. theory for that. So we'll see what happens with that. But like I said, definitely going to be some conflict within the team once everything comes out as far as them trying to get the little black box. My number 5 top moment. They definitely presented a ton of tension in this episode as they lay some of the groundwork, I think, for Captain America's Civil War. In this episode, we have Simmons kind of go off the deep end and wanting to kill Raina and any form of this Inhuman DNA that she's finding. You know, she's referring to it as basically a plague. She's going to become pretty obsessive over this, I think, which is again going to cause conflict, especially when she finds out about Skye. So what I mean as far as the laying the groundwork for Civil War. In the comics, Civil War kind of hinged on the idea of, you know, basically a superhero registration. Kind of like the Mutant Registration Acts within the X-Men comics. If you have powers, you need to register them with the government and things like that. So on one side you had Iron Man and a bunch of people saying yes. On the other, you had Captain America and much of others saying no, people deserve their privacy, especially superheroes. In the movie Captain America Civil War, it seems like it's going to be more about basically an oversight group above superheroes as opposed to a type of registration. But again, you know, we see this beginning division between people that are going to be supporting these people that are, you know, different and those that are going to be wanting to basically stamp them out. You know, again, we're kind of seeing that groundwork in here, and I think that's something that's going to carry over continuing with the series. My number 4 top moment. I thought Coulson's plan to take out Hydra was great. It definitely had that Coulson touch as far as the drama aspect of the scenario, and it let S.H.I.E.L.D. get at least a bit of revenge against Hydra. Though in the long run, I'm not sure how much difference it's going to make, as the Hydra network is still pretty massive and huge and all over the place, and there's contingencies upon contingencies. So again, we got Baron Strucker out there as well, so you know, this could have all been part of his master plan as well to kind of get rid of those other Hydra heads. I don't know, but again, you know, I just thought it was performed remarkably well, especially with Clark Gregg. So yeah, great scenes with Coulson's master plan there. My number 3 top moment of the episode, the scenes with Cal and Raina were pretty funny. She tried to blame him for her appearance, and his response was basically, you know, it was truth. She got what she wanted. Like I've said before, when it comes to the Terrigenesis process, in the comics, those with pure Inhuman blood, or those closer to basically the royal family, tend to gain powers while their physical appearance is barely altered, if at all. So if they stay with this, it simply means that Raina's blood was just not as strong as Skye's. I'm not sure where exactly they're taking Raina's powers, as in episode 10 she definitely had a stronger feline look to her appearance and the effects and everything. In this, you know, it's more almost like a porcupine kind of quill thing. So I'm not sure if they kind of altered their idea on her character or if this was just their original idea and it's just the fact that they can't put that much into the special effects all the time. Don't know, we'll just see what happens with her there. So my number 2 top moment of the episode, speaking of Inhumans, I'm glad we are fully embracing the idea now. We get a nice flashback of Skye's mother, S.H.I.E.L.D, helping a young Inhuman Gordon after his transformation. We learn that there's an ideal age range for the process to take place, and that someone is needed to help after this process to kind of guide the new Inhumans to learn about their powers and their people and everything like that. In current time, Gordon saves Raina from taking her own life, and it seems like he's taken on that mentor role that S.H.I.E.L.D did for him in the past. And basically seems like he's probably going to end up teaching Raina about her powers and Inhumans and everything. So aside from teleporting, it seems he may have a way of homing in on humans, as basically he found her kind of in the middle of his street. So we don't know everything about his abilities yet, but it definitely seems like he maybe has a way of pinpointing Inhumans, be it a power himself or some type of device. I'm not sure. I imagine he's going to make an attempt to take Skye at some point, but you know, then again, maybe not. Either way, both Raina and Skye definitely need some training. My number one top moment of the episode, I felt so bad every time they showed Skye in the quarantine room. She looked so lost and so broken, especially when she kept having those dreams about Trip dying and everything. It was just very, very emotional scenes. I continue to see huge improvements in Chloe Bennet's acting, and I'm glad she's basically going to be taking on a much larger role in this show, in particular being basically that bridge between S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Inhumans. And the character of Daisy in the comics was basically, you know, kind of right up there with Fury as far as someone that he relied on heavily, kind of like Coulson. I think he's going to start relying more on Skye. So yeah, Chloe Bennett's definitely going to be taking on a larger role in the show, and I think that's great because she's grown so much in her acting. I was really impressed with her scenes with both Simmons and Fitz. Just like I said, so much raw emotion in those scenes, and then she gets hope and understanding from Fitz. I swear I could feel that hug through the screen. Part of me is hoping that Fitz will design the gauntlets for Skye to help her channel her powers, much like the character Quake had in the comics. Chloe Bennett was amazing in this episode. The Skye scenes were great. Just like I said, so much raw emotion in this episode. Really looking forward to where they're taking her character. So my final thoughts on this episode. This was definitely a very strong episode and was a great way to come back from the long mid-season break. The other day I actually watched a few episodes from season 1, and then I watched this episode, and wow, just night and day difference between the stories, the writing, acting. Everyone's just grown so much since season 1. While I did enjoy most of this episode, I would have preferred if we had picked up right after episode 10 as opposed to having that small bit of a time jump. It would have been nice to see, you know, how they all kind of got out of the temple area and everything like that. So, you know, that was a little bit of a disappointment to me, but, you know, again, I can understand it because they need to basically push the storyline. Also, they went a bit over the top with Simmons and her anti-alien plague mentality. But I think they're going to pull back on that a little bit after her emotions kind of die down. At least I'm hoping, because like I said, it's just a bit over the top, but I'm going to trust them for now. From what I understand, there's not supposed to be any more breaks in the show as far as its schedule or anything for the rest of the season. So it's going to lead us right up to Age of Ultron and then hopefully show us some of that fallout before the season's done. So yeah, like I said, strong episode to come back on. Some really great moments, I thought. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite moment of the episode was. And if you have any questions on any of the characters or anything brought up in the episode, go and put those down in the comments below as well. And if you've liked my video, I'd ask you to go and give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. That way you can receive an alert when I post my next Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video, as well as the other Marvel and DC videos I'm doing at this time. And if you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. I really do appreciate you coming on board, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. Alright guys, all that being said, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Bye!